And so let me get started by just welcoming everybody to our 6 weeks to fitness and Body Scope of New York's healthy cooking class with Chef Isra Gordon. Now, this is going to be the first of a series of healthy cooking and exercise workshops sponsored by Body Scope of New York and 6 weeks to fitness. Now, my name is Vince Ferguson, and I am the president of Body Scope of New York and the host of the 6 weeks to fitness podcast, where I interview fitness and nutrition experts, athletes, and celebrities to discuss the importance for living a healthy lifestyle. And joining me today on this live stream is my co-host, Donna Andrews. Thank you, Donna. Now, if I learned anything in my over 30 years experience in the health and fitness industry, I learned that a flat stomach is made in the kitchen, not in the gym. But I also learned that all diseases begins in the gut. I'm talking about obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, hypertension. All these diseases begin inside your gut. And the key is, though, I also found out that if you start changing your eating habits and start an exercise program, you can eliminate most, if not all, of these diseases. Okay? And it's my vision to help you towards this goal. So we're going to be bringing you some live stream healthy cooking classes, some live stream exercise classes, so we can learn about healthy cooking and exercise from a variety of health professionals, not just from myself, but from others as well. Now, before I present Chef Isra, I want Donna to tell you a little more about what we need from you guys to do today. Donna?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much, 6 weeks to fitness, Vince Ferguson. How are you guys today? Are you ready for some good, healthy cooking? What I'm going to be talking to you about is how to proceed when it's time to do the Q&A. That is question and answer. If you want to ask a question, there's 3 ways. First, you can either put your questions in the chat. Make sure that it's addressed to everyone so we all can see what your question is. Second, you can raise your hand by looking at the bottom of your screen. If you're using a laptop, you will see it says reaction, and there will be the word hand raise. And third, you can unmute your line, and that will be an indication that you want to say something. Wait until your name is being called, and I will call your name and you can ask your question. When you're done asking your question, you can go back to muting your line. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on and learn and invest in your own health. Now back to you, Vince.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much. Now, if you'd like to see more programs like these, and if you want to be informed when our next live stream takes place, please don't hesitate to leave your email address in the chat room. All right. So, and also it would help us greatly if you were to subscribe to my 6 Weeks of Fitness YouTube channel. So this way you don't miss any upcoming podcasts or even the live streams, because we're live streaming this on YouTube as well as on Zoom. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Chef Isra. Now, Chef Isra was born and raised on the beautiful island of Grenada. And she's a graduate of the New York Restaurant School Culinary program. She is a holistic and metabolic health coach with over 30 years of training and research in the culinary industry. Her passion is living a healthy lifestyle where health and wellness thrives. Now, her personal recipes have been featured in cookbooks and magazines. She has extensive experience catering to those with dietary restrictions and preferences, such as raw foodists, vegetarians, pescetarians, and others. Chef Isra opened Mint Porch Cafe in Brooklyn, New York, to provide balanced and nutritious meals to her clients and community, with an emphasis on spiritual and physical development. Now, Mint Porch Cafe is the culmination of Chef Isra's passion and years of experience in the culinary world. She believes that the obesity epidemic can be linked directly to the foods we eat, the amount of sugary foods we consume, and the drinks that we consume, and the lack of physical activities. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for coming on. And I present to you Chef Isra Gordon. Chef Gordon, take it away.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Vince, for having me here today. And I just want to greet everyone and ask you at this time, just take a deep breath with me. Ah, yes, taking a deep breath gives us balance in our systems because we can't survive without oxygen. It's one of the most important things for us. So again, I'm Chef Isra Gordon, the owner and founder of Mint Porch Cafe, which is an effortless system for lifelong transformation using food as a language and wellness. Okay. So this morning, I have a few questions for us before I start, right? This healthy cooking class. I'm so excited to be here. This is my passion. This is my mission, and this is my calling. So I'm so grateful to Vince and 6 weeks to fitness. So I can be here today to really just share with you a little bit of my own creativity in the kitchen and the importance of eating healthy. So one thing I'm going to say to you is that food affects your mood. And I'm going to also reiterate that all diseases begin in the gut. So digestion plays a key role. Healthy cooking is not just about food that's on your plate, but it's about everything that affects your life. So this morning you would hear me referencing on a much deeper level as I continue to explain to you why you do what you do. Okay, so you may have the what, but the how, that's what's important here. Someone may have a great piece of fish, but how they prepare it, that's what would make it healthy. So it's the what and the how. The what, we qualify quality here because you want to start out with the best ingredients first. And the how, you want to choose a method that would be very wholesome for your body. For example, steaming, boiling, baking, pan searing, and grilling is also in there, but I put grilling further down the list because there are other not so good benefits that come with grilling. So my recommendation would be steaming and boiling and baking first if you really want to go the extra healthy route. But I want to ask you guys a few questions today before I start out with our recipe, which is going to be our baked flounder with seasonal steamed vegetable. I have 3 whys here to share with you, and it's questions for you. You may choose to type it up in the chat, answer, and then we can deal with it later on. So who are we? Who are we? I don't know what your answer would be, but I know that we're spiritual beings in a physical body. So we would express ourselves. And so because of that, we're truly connected. We're all connected. We share the same air. We breathe the same air. So in some way or the other, wherever you are, as we take a deep breath, to make yourself really present, we're all here together in unison and in oneness so we can understand some truths. There's another Y here, another W here. What are the results of eating poorly? Now I'm looking at poorly because if I ask you what are the results of eating healthy, you may get a quick answer, or you may not be paying attention to the fact that some things are not wholesome. So I want to go the negative route. What are the effects of eating poorly? And the next question is, when do you make a decision to change the way that you eat? Okay, so I'm asking why. Epidemic, pandemic, health crisis might be some of the reasons, right? So I refer to that as EPH, and that's not for Ephesians, which is biblical. It is for epidemic, pandemic, and health crisis. I hope you agree with me here today. And if you agree with me, you're in the right place. So I invite you to partner with me on my mission, which is to empower people to take their health back into their own hands by making sure that they're eating wholesome foods, and the way it's been prepared, it's prepared in a healthy manner. It is the how that's what's going to make the difference. So here we go. Let's start cooking today. So
Uh-oh. We're not hearing.
so flounder you can possibly get. Beautiful white fish. And I'm using my blue board here for that. And we have some fresh herbs. We're gonna work with that. So I'm gonna start by showing you how we're gonna put this whole thing together. Cooking not supposed to be like a whole day in the kitchen. And cooking not supposed to be complicated. But the body loves an array of colorful, a variety of foods. So I chose these things here because of the benefits that comes with it. And I also chose it because of how it's going to help you to repair your digestion, which begins in the gut. All right, so let's start here. We have our pumpkin here. I'm going to keep that aside. We have our peppers. Our flounder is laid out here because if you're at home and you're doing it, you're following along with me, I just want you to lay out your flounder here because whatever we're preparing on this side is going to be going right into the middle of your flounder before we put that in the oven to bake it off. I'm just going to show you, because you probably don't have all of this. You can choose to cover your flounder as you bake it off, or you may choose to leave it open. I like to cover it because what happens when you cover is almost like a steaming method. It's almost like a steaming method, and the juices that are in the fish, the natural juices, would just come flowing out and cause a marriage with all of the spices and the vegetables that would be packed inside of this fish. So here we go. The fish is waiting here. I'm going to show you. I asked you to do colorful peppers. You have beautiful sweet peppers, but some people like to add a little spiciness to this. So I included some jalapeno here, jalapeno peppers. Look at these beautiful colors, right? Beautiful colors always excite your body and prepare you already for digestion, which begins in the mouth for your carbs. Okay, so I have some already prepared, some peppers already cut up. I hope you're doing the same thing here. I'm just going to show you how you cut the peppers before you start julienning it. That's a cut that we're using. So you cut the top off, hands over, knife on the bottom because you don't want to cut yourself. And then you cut through the pepper. Then you lift the pepper up like this so you can take off the insides. And all the cutting is happening away from you. Cut the other inside out. Set this aside. Save your seeds. You might want to plant that when summertime comes because I do a lot of planting. Get our red pepper. I just had a thought about your knives that you use when you're cooking. I have two very sharp knives here. I don't know what knives that you're using at home, but I have what is called a steel, and this is how you would sharpen your knife. So you have your steel, you have your knife, and it's an angle. You start at the heel of the knife and you come down this side, and then you also go the other side. So when you practice enough, you can do it really quickly. You sharpen your knife, and so you have that edge ready so you can do your work. Now, I hope you can see this. Cutting off the inside, and then you would start julienning the peppers. You have an array of colors here. Set aside what you're not using. And for the jalapeno, this is what I want you to do, since this is a spicy one. The jalapeno, what makes it really spicy are the seeds on the inside. So here is your whole jalapeno. And what I do also, the same way as I do the other peppers, cut the top off, set it standing like this, cut down, and then I cut away from me. These are the seeds. And now, everybody has their own personal flavor. I don't like things too spicy, but I like good flavor. Good cooking is not about losing flavor. Good and healthy cooking is about something that is a bit personal, but using good ingredients, keeping the flavor intact, and so allowing for a variety. So the excitement that your body receives send a message to your brain, because your brain is truly connected to your gut. So when all these messages go to your brain, you see all these beautiful colors, your body prepares for great digestion for you. Okay, so here's the jalapeno. I have this here. For the jalapeno, I would cut it into little cubes instead. Make it smaller, because there's a little bit of spiciness. There's less spiciness because the seeds are out of there. Then you julienne your other colorful peppers here. So what we're gonna do is, these peppers are gonna go into the flounder. Can you see this? Jalapeno goes into the flounder. Garlic is also part of this recipe. And some people buy the garlic that's already peeled. I don't know, I find I don't get good flavor, the best flavor out of it. So I like to use the fresh garlic. And for my fresh garlic, this is what you do. You just put your garlic down on there and you squeeze it gently. And you get all the skins out. Easy. Now you're gonna cut, again, your hands go over the knife on the bottom, because you want to get some little cubes on here, and then you start chopping. Have to practice that in the kitchen. Nowadays, people have all kinds of gadgets. So all they do is they put the peeled garlic in here and just squeeze. You can do that. Or sometimes they have other little food processors where you just put everything inside and you just grind it. Your choice. Also cuts your time. But if you really want to make this fun, because cooking is a very spiritual moment. Some people will call it their meditation, because you get to think about how you're going to please your body with the beauty of whatever you're producing here. Okay, so here it is. You have the garlic, the peppers laid out in the middle of the flounder here. And then we're going to put some parsley, and some thyme. You have your thyme. Thyme gives you wonderful flavor, has a lot of amazing health benefits. All of those would help your body to feel better. Please your palate. Add flavor and variety to your cooking. Beautiful herbs, beautiful and fresh. You start out with it, beautiful and fresh. Now you would add that to your flounder. And then black pepper. Black pepper goes on there. A little bit of salt, not too much. For some people who has issues, this is sea salt. Some people who have issues with salt, they may not want to put any salt at all. They may just want to squeeze some lemon juice inside. Lemon. I'll show you, when I'm finished, I'll show you all of this. This is your lemon right there, lemon zest. You can use something like this, or you can use your regular hand grater that you have at home. Gives you different things that you can do on here with it. But I like using this microplane. I've had it a very long time. It works really well. Okay, so we want to be starting out with this because we're going to put the flounder in the oven, and then we can work on the other stuff that's going to accompany this. I want to show you what this looks like. We're starting out here. We have our flounder, we have our peppers, we have our garlic, we have our thyme, our parsley, our lemon, and then we're going to drizzle a little bit of the olive oil on top of that. And then I'll roll that up, put that in the baking pan, put that into the oven, and then we're going to work on the other parts of this. Okay, isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful?
Yeah.
I'm already getting hungry for this. All right, so you start from the wider side and you roll it up. This is your baking dish here. Your flounder goes into this. Drizzle a little olive oil on here. You may, if you choose, add a little more thyme. And we have some coriander. You're gonna sprinkle some, I'll just do it by hand. Some coriander on top here. Some cumin. A little bit of curry powder. It gives it a little color, more color after it comes out of the oven. So what you can do is you can put it in the oven, cover it, and then you can remove the cover if you're one of those people who want to see it looking a little brown. It's not necessary. So this fish, it cooks very easily. Your oven temperature has to be at 450 preheated before you put this in the oven. And fish you cook about, for 1 inch, about 10 minutes. Really doesn't need that long. Home ovens are a little bit different to professional ovens. Professional ovens are about 50 degrees higher. Although nowadays they make things a lot different, and there are some ovens that are a lot faster. So here it is. Here it is. A beauty.
Yes. Oh.
We're ready to get that into the oven. I'm going to cover it up. I call that music in the kitchen. Okay, so this recipe also have tomatoes. Now we're going to do two things with the tomatoes. One of the tomato would be used for a garnish. And one of the tomato would be used as a vegetable on the plate. Beautiful vine-ripe tomatoes. So what we're gonna do here is put a couple X's on the tomatoes. I'll turn this to show you in a moment. There is your tomato. A few X's on top. And we're going to place that in our saute pan with a little bit of olive oil. I'll show you that. Just a tiny bit so it doesn't stick. And just let the heat up this tomato because we're serving it as a vegetable. And if you want, you can do a little black pepper on there, but just let it be because the fish that we have coming out of the oven is the main part of the meal, and it already has all the beautiful flavor that you need. Okay, so another item that we're doing here is the pumpkin. That's another vegetable. I use this calabaza pumpkin, but you can use other squashes also too. You can use butternut squash, or you can use kombucha squash. Some of them, the skins are very, very hard to peel. And I won't tell you to use a peeler. I find that the easiest way for me is I clean out the inside of the pumpkin. I set it down flat on my cutting board. Put some strength in here. Push down on your knife and you cut that. And then what I do is that I use my knife and I peel the skin off the sides. Pay attention to your tomatoes here. You want to swirl your tomatoes around. We're cooking good. Look at that. Swirl your tomatoes around. You see the skin of the tomato is getting nice and shiny. It makes it more presentable, makes it more attractive. It doesn't cook it all the way through. It just gives it a little bit of a warming here. And the black pepper also helps it to add some flavor. And if you want, you can sprinkle a little salt with that. Okay, the other thing that we want to put on here, we want to put back our pan on the fire and set the tomato aside. We want to get our pumpkins in the pan. In the meantime, the water is going back there because I want to show you how to get the skin off the tomato because we're using that as part of the garnish over our fish. So we have our pumpkin. You're going to cut, again, the pumpkin into smaller pieces. You start it out from underneath and then you press down. You start it out from underneath and you press down. There's also another way how you can cut the pumpkin. You can set the pumpkin up like this. Okay, so you have slices of pumpkin here. That's going to be part of your dish. There are a couple things you can do. You can actually use water in the pan. Pumpkin is a great vegetable. Now, to make your food healthy, you want to use foods that are low in carbohydrate. So something like pumpkin, I'm just going to put that in the pan. Put that on the fire. Pumpkin, it has a lot of water and your body loves that. But it also has a little sweetness about it. It has a lot of fiber and it's really amazing for your gut. It aids digestion. So that's the reason why I like using all the squashes, whether it's pumpkin or butternut squash or zucchini or yellow squash or any one of these squashes. Your body would love it because not only does it add color, it adds that texture. So you can have your regular activities being processed through your body on a daily basis. So we're just going to move the pumpkin around. You're going to cook this pumpkin on top of the stove Or you can also finish cooking this pumpkin inside the stove. Now, in the Caribbean, a little cumin and a little curry powder and a little garlic with pumpkin adds a great flavor. So we can add that here today. A little garlic. I use lots of garlic when I'm cooking because garlic helps to lower cholesterol and also blood sugar. So I use lots of garlic. And as you see right here, I have all of my cooking utensils. Some people would prefer to sear this off. So this is another way. You can use the pumpkin with water. So that's one method. Or you can add, just drizzle a little olive oil. And not only would the olive oil lend for a little color on the outside of the pumpkin, it would also allow the garlic to start sweating in here, and more flavor is going to come out of it, sweetness, juiciness, and it's already making you hungry. You can breathe the flavor of this. Okay, so you have your pumpkin ready. The water is ready for the tomato. So this is what we're going to do. Remove the top here of the tomato, and this is what we're going to do. We put an X on the bottom here, and then we pop the tomato in the water. We're trying to remove the skin. That's why we're doing that. It's just going to be in there for like a minute, not too long. Okay, so our pumpkin is going, our tomato is going, our fish is in the oven, and now we have a couple more things working with. Now, I chose some things in such a specific way. Okras are so good for you, but a lot of people always say, oh, you know, I don't like to turn this down. I don't like okras too much because it's slippery. Well, there are ways that you can work with okra. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Check up on the tomato. Let's get our tomato out of there. This procedure is called blanching. So we blanch the tomato and we can shock it in some cold water. But it's only one tomato we're working with here, so it's not necessary to go too crazy. But look at the difference in just a little bit of color here on the pumpkin. And not only, look, the pumpkin here just by itself don't really need anything much. You would have great flavor, and you have all your vitamins in here. I'm going to turn this off, your pumpkin, set that aside for a while. And I want to talk to you about the okra. Aids digestion, really good to help you restore your gut bacteria. Amazing for you. Elder people, a lot of us, most of us, have our parents or friends, the loved ones who are older, and we want to suggest to them, if you want to have regular flow of your food being processed through your body, okra really aids in that digestive activity in your body. So they may not like it crunchy, so maybe you might want to cut it up smaller and steam it instead for them, or boil it. Or the best way I like it, because I like it crunchy, I just cook it in the pan. There's a problem with okra these days. A lot of people are eating fried okra, but I don't recommend frying foods because it's not a good cooking method if you want to be cooking in a healthy manner. So what I would do with the okra, I'll just show you in a second. I'm finished with the tomato here. So I'll get rid of most of the water from the pan. What you want to do with your okra, you cut the top off. cut a little bit of the bottom off, make it more attractive. And I just slice it up diagonally. When you're cooking, you want to use different shapes. Because if you cut everything the same way, then it won't be that attractive on your plate. It's all about what's going to appease the eyes. And so the stomach gets happy, the brain gets happy, and you already start enjoying it, with all those pluses. All right, so we cut the tops off. How are you guys doing at home? How is it going? Hope it's going well. So I'm just going to turn up the flame a bit here for the okras. And then what you might want to do is you can just cover it down and steam it. Now, a lot of foods have their own salt. So you never start cooking by adding salt in the beginning. You always put salt when the cooking is completed. Because if you put salt in the beginning, when everything is concentrated, the salt becomes stronger. The problem I find in our communities is that the foods are just way too salty. Mm-hmm. And there's already an epidemic of the high blood pressure, not even talking about all the chronic diseases that we have that they have no idea how they come about. But one of the things that we know would help to rid our bodies of these chronic illnesses is if we change the way we eat our food, change the way we cook our food, change what we're eating, how we're eating, when we're eating. There's so many things that are involved in changing or transforming your life from where you are to a healthier living, more wholesome living. And if you take these tiny steps every day, then we would have success. All right, so your fish will be in the oven. I have my oven set at 500 because, a little bit of adjustment. Got some time. The fish is going just fine in the oven. It looks like it's already done. The okras, whenever you're cooking something and you see the brightness and the color comes out, it tells you that it is done. You don't want to overcook it. So the next, I'm going to get rid of the water. And what you can do with your okra, you can add a little coriander, which is a little flavor here. I'm using the spices to season the food and bring out the flavor of the food. A little black pepper. You swirl that around. We'll put that back here. A little warming of the spices would make it more pungent and really add to it. Look at this. Look at the beauty of these okras. Your body is going to love this. All right, so we have the last thing that we have to get together is our potato. Yams, amazing for you. Add some sweetness to your diet. And if you stay on a diet of, this is a good starch, a great starch, it would keep you full. The starches from the potatoes, the starches from the pumpkin, the fibers from the okra, the low-cal flounder. My goodness, if you eat like that for the next 21 days, you would see some improvement in your brain health, your gut health, your digestion, your mood, because food changes your mood. If you eat foods that are not wholesome, it would affect your body, it would affect your energy, it would affect your sleep. There's so many things that contribute to our health and wellness in terms of our food, the way we eat. Another thing I want to stress is, before we go to the potatoes, is that you make sure that when it's time to enjoy your meal, that you're in a beautiful space. We got to stop eating on the run. You set your table nicely, beautiful lighting. You're not setting up water because you really don't want to drink when you're eating and wash away the digestive juices that are getting ready to flow so you can enjoy your food. So you want to drink water 20 minutes before. And then you set your space up. And I hope you have that done already today, because when you finish cooking this, you're going to sit down, take a deep breath, be grateful and thankful, and you would enjoy this. I'll show you what the finished product would look like in a few minutes. So back to our potatoes. I like to take the skins off because some people have a problem with the skin. So you can peel the skin with your knife, you can peel it with your peeler. I use my knife to peel, and then you cut your potatoes up in half, you let it stand, makes it easier for you to slice it up, and you slice down to your cutting board. All of these factors are important because when you start working in the kitchen, you got a lot of other stuff to deal with. At home, it's not only the cooking, but you have the kids, you have your loved ones, the phone is ringing, you have the dogs, different things going on. So you want to make sure you have what you're working with in place, right? So you're making some cubes of potatoes, just like this. You increase the surface area so it would cook really quickly. And instead of cooking potatoes with sugar, I'm going to use this pan here for the potatoes. Instead of cooking potatoes with sugar on Thanksgiving, this is something different that you can do. You have your cubes here, your sweet potatoes. Potatoes are already sweet. Add that to your pan. Let's turn the flame up here. Drizzle a little olive oil. It's a personal thing. You can drizzle a little honey in here with that. You don't want too much honey. Adding a little bit of honey just for a little color and enhance the flavor. I'm gonna add a little bit of black pepper to this. Cinnamon and ginger and stuff like that is not part of this recipe, but you can add that if you so choose. For these potatoes, you want to get the natural feel about them. Get the natural flavor. You're gonna hold it, move your pan around here, and coat the potatoes. And you can actually move this pan to the oven and finish cooking it off. So right now, I'm just going to, your fish is ready, right? I'm gonna leave these potatoes in the oven. I'll show you what your finished product look like. This is a finished product, that's what it would look like. Just turn this off. You already see what your finished product look like with your pumpkin. You already see what your finished product look like with your okra. All right, I'm going to be pulling the fish out of the oven. Oh, wow. If you can smell this. Look at this. Okay, so I'm going to show you now. Let's get rid of these things. I'm going to show you now how we're going to dress up. Our tomato, you remove the skins. Then you cut the middle. Beautiful seeds though. We can save those so we can plant in the summertime. And get the seeds out. 2 cuts. Cutting them into cubes here. And you'll put the tomatoes on top of your flounder. Wash this off here. I'll show you what this looks like. Beautiful flounder. And I'm gonna set the plate so you can see the finished product in a second. But you can do a lot with this. You can sprinkle more. I'm gonna sprinkle some chives on here. And another thing we can do to make it even more beautiful, we can take some of our peppers. We're talking about the garnish for our plate. Some red peppers. Some red peppers and some green peppers. Make some, I call it brunoise. It's tiny cuts here. And you can also sprinkle on top of your fish. Here is your beautiful flounder. So now I'm going to show you a completed plate. Because right now I know that probably you're working on your other parts of this meal. And I'm really excited to show you what the finished product looks like. And I call this a guilt-free meal. Here it is. Your pumpkin, your okra, your tomato, your flounder, and your sweet potatoes. And what I usually do, because I love olive oil, this is olive oil. I'll show you what I usually do with this. When it's all said and done, you have perfect olive oil, drizzle over your pumpkin. Isn't that wonderful? I hope you're going to try this today. I hope you're going to serve it for your families for Thanksgiving coming up, because it's a great way and a healthy way to show up for your family, to change the way you eat so you can transform your life from where you are to where you need to be. Healthy, small steps every day. And then before you know it, you would have achieved your goal. So this is it. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any questions about the dish, or any questions about how you can learn to do more of this, we're here. Back to you, Vince.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chef Isra. Can you guys unmute? Ah, there you go.
Who is coming to eat this?
I'll be right over.
Awesome.
That looks really delicious, Chef Isra. Really delicious.
Look how beautiful it is. When you look at this, you're like, I want to have some of this. It's delicious, nutritious, it's light, and it would help repair on the way down. All of these ingredients that we use here are amazingly healthy for you.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Wow. It is said all diseases begins in the gut, and I guess it's time to take care of our gut.
That's right.
But this is the opportunity to ask any questions that you guys might have before we end the presentation. But remember, this is the first of a series of healthy cooking workshops. I'm also going to put this, it's on YouTube, so I'm going to share it for those who could not make this presentation. That's the beauty of having a YouTube channel. We can live in perpetuity. So that's important, because it's important that we get the word out about healthy eating, how important it is, people don't realize, as much as I believe in exercise, 80% of towards healthy living is nutrition. 80%. Hippocrates, over 2,500 years ago, the father of modern medicine, he said that food be your medicine and medicine your food. And he also said that all diseases begins in the gut. So if you want to be healthy, you want to maintain a healthy weight, a healthy lifestyle, it's time to get a handle on how we're eating. The holidays are coming, and this is when most people gain 5, 10, 15 pounds because they want to eat everything on their plate or in the kitchen. But you got to think about that now. All that food is not really good for you. So let's make wiser food choices, eat more whole foods, food that your body recognizes on a cellular level. It don't recognize the cakes and cookies and ice cream. Okay, we may have a taste of that, but it doesn't do your body any good. So let's feed our body what it needs. Now is the time more than ever before to to take care of our health. If you take care of your body will take care of you. Do you agree? All right. And this is the time to do it. So this, again, we're going to be back again with another healthy cooking segment and also some exercise classes. And I want to do this so that we can help you guys to achieve your health and your exercise goals. And it doesn't cost anything for you to attend these workshops. So Body Scope of New York, my nonprofit, is going to underwrite this along with 6 weeks of fitness because we want our people to be healthy. And we're going to show you the way. All you have to do is show up, participate, tell others about these programs because we want everyone to have a chance at life. A healthy life is a happy life. That's my belief. Now, if you guys don't have any questions, none in the chat box?
Can I just share one more thing?
Yes, please.
Now, there are universal laws that governs everything here. And so when you eat healthy, just think about this. We're working with the law of cause and effect. For every action, there is a reaction. So before you eat, just give it a little thought. Or before you prepare your food, take a moment, take a deep breath, and think about your body. Is what I'm going to make or is what I'm going to eat going to serve me at the highest level? Is it going to work towards transforming my health, repairing my health, or the health of my loved ones? Is it going to help me to feel stronger? Is it going to energize me? Some thought has to go into everything you eat and everything you do, because we're talking about working with the whole man. It's wholeness, wholesome, health. It comes from the root, the whole person, wholesome. So that's what we aim. We aim to help people take their health back into their own hands so we can live healthy, wholesome life. Thank you, Vince.
Thank you, Chef Isra. And thank you guys for coming on. Thank you, Justice. I see you, Denise, Lisa, Martha, and Donna for your co-hosting. And Brynheld, thank you so much for coming on. I hope you guys will join us again. Again, we're going to let you know when the next healthy cooking workshop is going to be. It would be nice if I had an email address so I can at least send it to you so you know in advance, okay? But also I know that some of you are on Facebook, and I'll definitely share it there as well. But this is all I have to share. But I just want you guys to take your health seriously, and let's get ready for a beautiful holiday season. But I will see you again very soon. Thank you so much, and take care. God bless.
Vince,
Yes.
I'm sorry. There's a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. A question
says,
from
Justice.
Oh, Justice. Yes. What's the question, Justice?
He says, I love things like this. Chef said to salt after. Are there foods that this rule doesn't apply to?
Which of the rules? I didn't hear the rest of the question.
Justice, you can unmute yourself.
What's about salting?
Can you hear me?
What's the
Yes.
question?
Yes.
Yes, you made a comment about salting after because you don't want to add too much on what it already has in it. Are there some foods that this rule might not apply to, or something that might change that rule, I guess?
Okay, so there's some foods, yes, like if you're going to be making a roast, there's certain amount of salting that you do when you're seasoning it, like when you're making a rub or something like that. But you can always, what I do is I add salt later to make an adjustment, because I serve people who, some people are not, they have health problems, you know, with high blood pressure. And so they may want to enjoy a beautiful pork rib or something, but they can't eat the salt. So I would make it without the salt, and then I would add the salt after, because I'm always, another reason why I'm always thinking that all of our bodies are different, right? And we're all looking for something different because we have different health challenges. So I want to make sure that if I have a dish and there are different people who want to have it, if it's made with full salt, then somebody would not be able to enjoy it. But if I make it, you know, with low salt, then if someone wants it a little bit more salt, they can always add it later on. You can always salt things later on. There's one time when I add salt before, if I'm blanching vegetables and I want to keep the temperature of the water high, I would put a little bit of salt in the water so I can blanch the vegetables. But you don't really have to, because there's so much salt in all of our foods. If we add salt all over the place, by the time all the salts come together and the natural salts from the food, we end up overeating salt. And so because of the epidemic that we have with high blood pressure, I really stay on the side of salting things afterwards, because it's all about your health. Vince, I also wanted to make sure that they know where they can find me.
Yes.
And if you can please share the link with them of my website. It's mintporch.com/quiz. You can go there and you can read up and learn about what I'm doing and what I'm sharing in the community. And if there's any other way that I can help you, then
Yes.
that's a way to let you know.
So I just want to say, for the participants, I put all the information in the chat. So you can go in and copy it and put it somewhere or write it down. But all the information is in the chat for both the 6 weeks of fitness and for Chef Isra. So I have a question. If I want to, do you have sit down due to the pandemic? Are you allowing people to come and sit down and have?
Right now at the temp space where we are, people can come and sit down because it's not crowded. We can social distance, but in the new space, which is happening, which will be happening in the next few months, people can have the subscription box to take home, or they can have meals delivered to their door. So, like, for example, some people love eating healthily, but they don't have the time. And part of the my concept is, if you don't have time, let me take the worry out of your mind and have your meals delivered to you, your healthy meals. But you would have to choose which way you want to eat. You can eat pescetarian, vegetarian, or flexitarian, having more wholesome vegetables and low carb stuff in your meal. And it's Caribbean style, lots of our spices and things from the Caribbean. And it's my creation. All of this is my creation. I allow the download of how I should work with food, and then I put it into effect by making the meal and having people enjoy it. So this is what I do. But I wanted to address the person who asked the question earlier on Donner. I wanted to know if I answered his question, if he was satisfied about the salt.
Justice?
Yes, I definitely appreciate that. That made a whole lot of sense. is hypertension is a huge thing, especially like you said in our culture. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Kind of
Okay, thank you so much. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
the amount of salt that you put in.
Yeah. And let me just say too that I experienced firsthand Chef Israel's cooking, if I might say so myself. Okay, she actually is my personal chef, so that's how I've come to know her and to know that her food is organic, it's very good. Basically, it saves me a lot of time. I mean, I'm very busy on the go, on the run a lot, and so there are times I don't have time to prepare a meal, and so I go to her every Saturday and pick up enough food for the week so I can keep doing what I need to do. But I have to feed my body right. Okay. And I know that's the important thing. Work out with the weights, training at home, but also feeding my body right. That's the key. Your body's like a car. You got to take care of it if you want it to function well. And not just for a day or two, but I mean for years. And that's the key to this. We're talking about longevity, but we're more talking about quality of life. We don't want to just say, okay, I'm good for the day. I want to be good for tomorrow. Okay? Quality is the key. I think you guys would agree with me. And we want not just ourselves to be healthy, but our children as well. So we want to, if we can start off eating healthy and showing them being perfect role models for our children and grandchildren, then they will have someone to look up to. They will know what to do to take care of their bodies. We want the body to function properly, mentally, physically, and spiritually. All right. Any other questions or comments that
So
we want to share?
if you have any questions, you can raise your hand by going to reaction.
I know Denise says she appreciates all the food tips, the healthy food tips. We're gonna come back with some more of those soon too, so don't worry about that.
If you have any questions.
I also want to let them know that I'm working with food as medicine, but I'm really, because I'm so passionate about seeing people healthy or getting their health repaired, I'm even extending my practice to functional nutrition, um, using food as a medicine and herbs and different things like that. So I can really support you in a very deep way in my program, if you show up.
Good.
I just wanted to let them have that information also,
Oh,
because it's very, very important to me, to see us living healthy lives, see us more energized, and see us being able to focus on our daily chores or tasks, whatever we choose, and not to feel like, well, we don't have time to make something healthy for us. I want to make sure that we understand the choices that we make affect us greatly
yes,
now and later on.
yes. Okay, with that being said, you guys, I think that's it. I want to thank everyone for showing up, for coming out here today, being a part of what is a movement. Again, this is a series, so you're going to hear from us very soon on the next workshop, whether it be healthy cooking or exercise. You're going to hear from us. And I just want you guys to be healthy. God bless you. Thank you for coming out. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
That's enough.